Hello everyone, welcome back to CFD College. I'm Ashkan, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can draw velocity vectors in Tecplot. I hope you've enjoyed our previous videos in the channel on Tecplot, CFD Post, ProView, Origin Pro, or any other videos that I have. Uh, if so, please subscribe the channel. Please share the videos with your friends and introduce us to your friends, your colleagues, so that we can enjoy and we can learn together. Now, let's jump to the tech plot. This is the tech plot, and I have a case here. It's a shock wave. If I want to show you, let me first show you the velocity magnitude in the domain. As you can see here, we have a shock wave. Okay, let me delete this one, the legend. Here we have a edge, we have an edge, and air flows over it, and because of the high velocity of the air, we have this attached shock wave. Okay, we wanna draw velocity vectors. Most of the time, we draw velocity vectors on a contour. It's better. For example, here in the background, I have velocity field. So let me add, how you can add the legend, how you can modify it. So I don't go through these again and again and again. You can, if you don't know how, you can watch our previous videos. You can find them in the channel. Uh, it's a good practice. Sometimes when you load the results from different sources, for example, Fluent, CFX, Star CCM, or other CFD software, or even console, the name of the variable is a bit strange, and it makes this legend a bit odd, and it's not good. It's you have to modify it. The first and the best way is to go to under the data tab, data set info. Here you can see a list of zones and variables. Here you can also see how many variables you have on this case and what is the number of each variable. For example, this is the velocity magnitude and I want to change it. So if you double click on this, you can change it, and I modify it to velocity, and I put the unit here. Then I click on some other point, or you can press enter key on the keyboard. Now you can see we have a far better legend than what we have, and we can change it. We can reduce the fonts to have a good legend. Okay, now velocity vectors. If you click on vector, you have to choose the vector variables. In two-dimensional domains, you have to select u and v. If you had three-dimensional CFD domain, you would select u, v, and w. So u is x component of the velocity and v is y component of the velocity. You know it. So in order to draw velocity vectors, you need all the components, all the velocity components in your data. So if you are, for example, if you export the results from ANSYS Fluent, you have to choose X, U, V, and W. Be careful. If I click on OK, you can see the velocity vectors. And it's not good because we can't see anything. As you can see, the view is not good, and we have to modify it. We have to customize it. To do that, you can go to vectors setting here. Now you can see you have three options for vector length: relative, grid units per magnitude, relative centimeter per magnitude, or uniform. Now, for example, if I zoom in to this area, uh, you can see there are a lot of vectors. So if I press Ctrl plus L, I can go back to the last view. To reduce the number, so we can reduce the number of vectors and we reduce the length of them. If you decrease this value, you can see you are decreasing the length of these vectors. But if you want to reduce the number, you can use this option, for example. And here you can specify the spacing between vectors. If you click on reset spacing, you can see this view. If you make any changes, for example, if you want to increase the number of vectors in x direction, as you can see, you can decrease this value, and also for y direction. So you can play with these options to have the best view. This Tecplot version is Tecplot 2023 R1. In older versions, I believe this option is not here. You may not see this. In that case, you have to go to zone style under the vector or points, I think. Let me check. Yeah, point. Here you can increase the index skip. So if you don't have this option, you have to go to zone style under the points tab and you can increase the skip. It's similar to what we have here. But in your versions, you can control in vector details. You can control the number of vectors. So this controls the number of vectors, and this one controls the magnitude of the vectors. Sorry, the magnitude, I mean the length of vectors. So if you increase it, you have, the length of the vectors are increased, and if you decrease it, the vice versa. Okay, now, what else can we do? Mm, you can change it to this one. These two, in most of the cases, are not different, but this one, uniform, is totally different. Here, for the uniform vector, you can see all the vectors have the same length, and you can increase them or you can decrease it. It's good, for example, in cases that you have a velocity contour in the background and you want to show the vectors to see the flow. So you don't want vectors to show the magnitude because the viewer can see the magnitude of the velocity in the background contour. So it's good to use it because you can have a better view of vectors, but most of the times we use this one. This way, in regions that we have higher speed, the length of the vector is higher. Uh, what else I can tell? Mm, so let's modify the vectors, the vectors. Yes, the arrowhead, for example, the reference vector, you can add a reference vector. But let's talk about arrowhead. The angle of the arrowhead, you can increase it. You can see the difference, or you can manually enter a value. This is, for example, 35, for example, 50. You can see that the fraction of length. Here, I think if you increase it, you can have you are making the arrowhead bigger, which is not proper, I think. And here you can choose the other option, frame units, percentage of frame units, but it's not good. I think the fraction of length is better because you can control the length of the arrowhead with respect to the length of the vector itself. If you go to zone style, under the vector tab, you can see here this option, tail at point. You can have a head at point or tail at point, or for example, head only. This can show only the heads of the vectors. And you can change it. This is the plain arrowhead. You can change it to filled. Now you can see the difference, or hollow. Now the uh, inside the arrowheads are hollow, and you can specify the color for the vectors here. For example, red, yellow, or you can select multi. Now you know what it means. It means that if I choose it, the vectors are colored by the velocity. So if I change it to plain, you can't see anything because you have the contouring background and you have the vectors which are colored similar to contour, so you can't see anything. If I deselect contour, you can see the vectors. So maybe you like to show the vectors in this way. Uh, Let me change it to black. The line pattern, you can change it. It's not useful, I think, but the line thickness is important. Maybe you want to have thicker vectors. This way you can play with the line thickness. And I think that's it. Let's go to the reference vector. Show the reference vector. Okay, let me find it first. I have to change the position to see that, or let me increase the line thickness first. Okay, where is it? Oh, here. It's here. I think it's here. You can decrease the thickness. You can place it at any point you want. For example, at the bottom of the chart, at the top of the figure, anywhere. Uh, this is where you can change the color. You can show the label for it. For example, this vector is showing us 950 meters per second. So, for example, if you want to have the vector, for example, to show, I don't know, 1000 meters per second, you can modify it here. And also, here is for modifying the text, the size, the fonts, and the number format, the offset, and so on. And yes, that's it, I think. You can change the angle if you want. but most of the times the horizontal vector is better. So I'm not sure if this option is available in older versions, but it's here now and you can use it. So in this session, I think it's enough. We learn how to generate and draw velocity vectors, how to modify them, how to change the number and the length of the vectors, the arrowhead, and we also learned how to add a reference vector. And now you can modify the color of the vectors as you wish. So I think I'm done for this session. There is nothing I can add to this session. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope these videos are useful for you. So please subscribe the channel and like the videos. If you have any comment, write a comment in the section in the comment section below. Please introduce us to your friends and support us. That's the only thing I want from you. And that's nice of you if you do that. So until the next video, take care of yourselves and bye bye. See you in the next video.